Hello everyone, my name is James and this is Real Biased Gaming. I've been playing MMOs for 10 years now. I believe I possess a vision of the future. I've seen the next great MMO and I am here to share what laws that MMO will follow to become the next MMO Messiah. Indie and crowd-funded MMOs have started getting into the market by highlighting specific features and giving an open ear to their supporters. I'm honestly not that optimistic that the next great MMO is going to come from some original idea from an indie dev team. I believe it will take a AAA effort to create the next great MMO. I think there are a few simple rules to follow, an MMO formula, that if they hit it right, will create the next gaming god. Note that this video only contains 3, ultimately, I think I have a list of around 10 or so. So these are the highlights, the most important parts, I believe. Let me know in the comment section below if you're interested in the full list. So, engaging combat, world interaction. First off, this section was going to simply be combat, but honestly, an MMO can be very successful without relying on combat. In fact, having systems and games for players to experience and enjoy much of the game without engaging in combat is highly recommended, and even part of my second law. The core concept here is, what are players spending the majority of their time doing in this game? Whatever it is, that part of the game needs to excel. For most MMOs, that is combat in some form or another, but if farming or exploring is a big part of your world, then so be it. The key here is that the mechanics around that system are enjoyable, customizable, and able to be mastered along a curve. So let's talk about all 3. First, it has to be enjoyable. For some people, World of Warcraft combat is fun. Many would say it was more fun several expansions ago, but it still works. Black Desert combat is fun. Combos, high quality animations, and explosions. But you know what else is fun? Exploration in Elite Dangerous. Kind of a lesser known space MMO. You can watch my review here. The game is excellent and the exploration of new planets and solar systems in a near infinite galaxy is highly enjoyable for space enthusiasts of all levels. And exploration is anywhere from 50 to 90% of what you do in that game, with combat and trading kind of sprinkled in there. Next, it has to be customizable. You need different classes. You need to be able to have a variety and options, even among players playing the same class. So, for example, you need like 3 different specs and subclasses for the rogue class, and they need to feel different enough. In Elite Dangerous, you can earn new ships and paint them differently and use different ones depending on what kind of mission you want to go on. In Rift, there was a DPS/healing hybrid class that could solo heal in dungeons and actually did very well in raids. That's customization. That is differentiation. Destiny has a hard enough time with only 3 classes and a few subclasses for each, but the customization and variety comes from the different weapons and loadouts that you get access to. WoW has watered down the gameplay of each class to a ridiculous degree, but with their transmog system, players can create truly unique looks to their characters, so they have replaced some of their older customization and differentiation options with the transmog system did come in, and a lot of players really appreciate that. A lot of them don't care, but there are plenty of players that really appreciate that. That's a plus in my book. The next coming of the great MMO will be filled with meaningful customization options like some of these. To close out the first rule, there needs to be a learning curve. There needs to be a difference in power level and skill between the rookies and the veterans. Every game should be pay to win, in my opinion. But by pay, I mean pay your time, not money. The systems in the game need to allow for and reward mastery over time. That's the idea behind leveling up at all in an MMO. You get abilities slowly so you can learn them as they come instead of being dumped into a game with 30 different abilities that you need to remember and keybinds that go with each. You start simple, but eventually you do end up with all those 30 abilities that you need to remember cooldowns and how they counter certain strategies and in what way, assuming that you want to be the best. And every MMO needs to have those players, that core group of players, the players that strive for mastery. The systems in game need to accommodate that. Now, the rule of content variety is actually one that many MMOs understand decently well. The whole reason we have player housing and exploration and professions and skill trees and PvP and PvE and achievement hunting and skins and shaders and badges and legacy levels are because developers know their players want a variety of options at any given time. Sometimes I don't feel like grinding out kills and I just want to explore things. I want to be rewarded not just with beautiful views, but also those achieves. I may want to level up slowly and experience the story of the world that I'm I'm going through, but I need options for leveling as well, because my roommate doesn't. He just wants to power level right through. And these players need the freedom to power level if they wish, getting a different experience from what the game intends. Now, the sad news for so many pretty solid MMOs is that they act on this law too late. It takes months and multiple patches before MMOs seem to actually become decent games, before they provide the content for both casual and hardcore players to be satisfied. And it's very possible. I mean, I don't think a game has come out that I've played in the last 10 years, any MMO, where it wasn't possible to satisfy hardcore and casual players, but they just take too long to do it. And often it is far too late to save the MMO. It becomes a cult classic sort of game, instead of the industry change that everyone sets out to make, and that honestly many gamers hope to be buying when they buy into a new MMO, a new game. I loved Star Wars: The Old Republic, but that game never recovered when players sped to the level cap faster than anticipated, and found very little content for the hardcore gamer to enjoy. The game nearly died then and only lived on as a mere shadow of its first month numbers. If anything, early access and Steam Greenlight and open betas have made players even more frustrated with games releasing without a full content suite for them to play with. The next coming of the great MMO will be ready with content when it launches. My final law today for the prophecy of the chosen MMO is that the game has to be made with love. And I mean that in some of the cheesiest ways possible. Players need to feel the passion coming out of the game into their own lives when they're playing. The reason so many MMOs have failed is because they all wanted to be WoW, instead of wanting so badly to make an incredible MMO that they got the funding and went for it. WoW did that. It's not some super secret, you guys. It's not some like holy grail where they just rolled the dice and got lucky, okay? World of Warcraft is a freaking passion project, and the only proof I need is how many passionate people the game has created over the years. I think the only reason Destiny isn't completely dead is because despite all its frustrations and flaws and sometimes lack of content, Bungie loves their games to death, and gamers can feel that. I think Star Wars: The Old Republic was made by money-loving executives at EA, and they suffered the consequences there. You can't make a game out of love alone, but it is what makes a game great. You'll always settle for mediocre without it. I relate loving the game back to the content variety section. To me, they're closely linked. If you're adding in content to make money, then I do believe the players will feel that in the gameplay or see it in the prices and end up frustrated. If a developer is adding content because they love it, because it is exactly what they want more of in their game or exactly the direction that them and their player base are hoping to go, then that attitude shines through in the content that is delivered. The next great MMO will be a passion project. It will be created with love. And those are 3 of my rules for creating the next God MMO. Let me know which of these 3 rules you identify with or appreciate the most in an MMO in the comment section below. What other rules do you think apply to MMOs that you've seen? Do you disagree with any of these 3 that I believe are the most important? I'd love to hear that as well. Make sure to subscribe here and also follow the live stream over on Twitch. Link is in the description below this video. Thanks for watching, everyone. Once again, my name is James, and this is Real Biased Gaming.